I'm Steve Rafe and I'd like to welcome you to this StarLeaf technical training video. Today we're going to be looking at installing a GT Mini. Start by unboxing the GT Mini and its accessories. Today I'm going to be using the GT Mini itself. I'm going to be using a DVI to HDMI content cable. I'm going to be using the StarLeaf Touch, 2 network cables, a HDMI cable for the screen, the power supply for the GT Mini, and this is supplied with a power supply cable that is appropriate to your international region. There are also multiple camera options for the GT Mini, one of which is the Logitech webcam, which I'm not going to use today. Another one is the Sony sRG pan-tilt zoom camera, and this is supplied with a HDMI cable, a Visca control cable, and a power supply, again including a plug which is suitable for your international region. And finally, there's a StarLeaf microphone and its cable. I'm going to start off by connecting the StarLeaf microphone. This is connected using an XLR to USB Mini B cable. This actually has an analog signal going along it, which means that you can extend it almost indefinitely. If you wish to extend it, then extend it at the XLR end. We would recommend keeping it under 100 meters. But frankly, if your room's 100 meters long, you've probably got acoustic problems. As we move along the panel, we then have the ability to send audio out on a line out cable if we wish to use an external amplifier and speakers. The alternative is to send it to the screen, which is what I'm going to do today. We also have a line in connector, which allows us to take in audio from our content source. For instance, a laptop or a media player. We're not going to use this today. I'm now going to connect the camera, which connects to the next 2 ports. I'm going to start off by connecting the HDMI output of the camera to the HDMI input of the GT Mini. And this is how we get video from the camera into the GT Mini. Next, I'm going to use the Visca control cable. I'm going to plug this into the Visca output of the GT Mini, which is marked camera control. I'm going to plug the other end of this into the Visca input on the camera. And do note there's an input and output. You need to be sure that you get it in the input. And finally, I'm going to apply power to the camera using the power supply. That's our camera installed. I'm going to use a DVI to HDMI cable for content, which would allow users of HDMI laptops to use the GT Mini to pass through their local presentation, and when they're in a call, it would also enable them to share that content to the far end. The DVI connector is a locking connector, and we would recommend you do up the lock screws in order to prevent it from accidentally coming out. Note that we support audio de-embedding on this, so if the user is pushing audio across that HDMI cable, the GT Mini will de-embed that audio and send it to the far end of the call. You can connect up to 2 displays to the GT Mini, and these are connected using a HDMI cable. One of the outputs is marked with a blue A symbol and has a loudspeaker symbol next to it. This is the connector to use if you're connecting a single screen to the GT Mini. And this is also the connector that supports embedded audio. So if you're using the inbuilt loudspeakers on the screen, this is the correct one to use. I'm now going to go and do the networking for the GT Mini. The first cable to be connected is to the customer's network. This is connected into the port labelled network on the back of the GT Mini. The second network connection is for the StarLeaf touch panel. This must be connected to the StarLeaf controller only port, like so. This cable needs to be run directly to the StarLeaf touch panel. The GT Mini is going to provide power over Ethernet to that touch panel in order to power it. And it is just a standard Ethernet connection, so you can run it up to 100 meters, and this includes through a customer's structured cabling. One of the advantages there is it means that, for instance, you can run a cable from the front of a room to the network port that is already underneath the customer's boardroom table without having to take the floor up to run a network cable. Finally, I'm going to apply power to the GT Mini. First step is to plug the power supply into its mains cable. Then connect the locking power connector into the back of the GT Mini. That one can take some force, so don't be scared of it. And finally, plug it into the mains. And there we go. We can see the GT Mini is now booting. Now in a moment, we'll see the touch panel is powered. Now you can see how easy it is. If you would like to know more, please have a look at our Knowledge Centre at the link below. Or alternatively, get in touch with one of your local StarLeaf representatives, or alternatively, contact StarLeaf support. Thank you very much.